Lake Huron after Andy Dillon had authorized that. Do you know that 5 months later, General Motors said, we're not going to use this water. We're going to switch back to the Detroit water source because the water is too corrosive for our manufacture of automobile parts. Too corrosive for the manufacture of automobile parts. Yet this administration of Governor Snyder was telling folks the water was okay to drink. And this is where we are again. Just a dastardly circle, and no one in Flint believes their government when they tell them that. And even Mark Edwards, the Virginia Tech scientist, now sides with the state. As a matter of fact, Auburn has testified on behalf of state authorities because of his vendetta against the EPA. And quite frankly, I believe Mark Edwards has outlived his usefulness after he helped Leanne Walters, the Flint resident who said that the water was hurting her children and family.
Let's go to Justin. Justin has a question or comment? Justin, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I just had a couple of quick comments.
Go ahead.
I guess I want to know, so what kind of solution do we want from the government here in Michigan? I'm not a native Michigander originally. I moved here from the Chicago area. And, I've seen a lot in Chicago.
Yeah.
I come to the Detroit area. I see a lot here. But what kind of solution do you want? I mean, I have to go buy my water. Even though my water is supposedly safe to drink, I also have to purchase water filters.
So Justin, do you understand how the Flint water crisis started, right?
I do.
You understand the major culpability of the state, right?
I do. I think they are at fault here. But I don't know how long do we continue to fund Flint?
One of the things I want to point out to you is that...
Justin, hold on. Go ahead, Regina.
What was broken is the state's fault. And so when you use pipes that are corroded and you willfully, as the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality did, not follow what you were told to do by the EPA, not add the anti-corrosives that would keep the pipes from leaching lead, then it's your fault and you're poisoning a whole city. So I hear you when you say how long. It's really as long as it takes.
Exactly.
If someone poisoned your child, when would they be done making up for that? When would that be over? I mean, the real point here is that...
But let's say let's say your child was admitted at the hospital and gets an infection out of the hospital because that hospital has a history of lack of environmental, all the kinds of issues. Would you say how long would the hospital continue to fund? Justin, come back in.
I would have to say, they would need to take care of my child for as long as it takes. I agree with that.
I think you answered your own question. How long?
Well, I was just in Highland, Michigan, and came across a car dealership, and I went into the bathroom, and the faucet said, "Do not drink this water. It contains high levels of arsenic." So we have this issue in other areas, and I do understand, yes, if we can find the fault, then we need to fix it. I'm an automotive guy, root cause analysis, so fix the fault and then take care of the problems. But is this a lawsuit that we need to have an amount and then pay it out?
That's actually happening as we speak.
Right.
Am I going to listen to this for years and years and years and never get away from the horrible Michigan, how they treated Flint? I like to move forward on these issues sometimes.
Thank you, Justin. But just like your child, just like you'll expect your child to be taken care of forever, I think Flint residents deserve to be taken care of holistically, especially because we've not even gotten to the conversation about the permanent impact that lead has on the developmental abilities of a child growing up. So we are actually yet to see maybe the health consequence of a generation of Flint kids who, in fact, may be impacted by what happened in the last 5 years.
And over 2 years ago, I called in my capacity as political director of the Michigan National Action Network for a special court to be set up to deal with lead-poisoned children who are going to have behavior issues, and they are definitely going to be placed in that pipeline, grade school to prison.
Right.
And instead of incarceration, they need treatment.
Well, I just want to address one of the things that Justin talked about. Arsenic in the water, various contaminants in the water. There's a reason that this keeps happening in Michigan. It has a lot to do with the agency that is charged with making a difference, the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. They don't oversee environmental quality. And they are the reason Flint happened. They rubber stamp Nestle, and they tend to let corporations, in fact, as part of the charge that agency has under the Snyder administration, they're actually charged with making sure business is okay.
The profit before human life.
Profit before human life. And so right now in our legislature, there are bills that are looking at ways to create a corporate oversight committee for the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality so that corporations can actually rescind decisions that MDEQ is making. So we need to figure out, there is a systemic problem. He's right. And it's with our government. It's with the state and why they're not protecting people and why they're not calling on corporations to fix what they break.
Let's take some calls. Let's go to Philip. Philip has a question or comment.
Hey, what's up with this phone?
Philip. Let's move on. Let's go to JJ. JJ, go ahead.
How you doing, guys and girls? Hey, I got a suggestion. I'm glad I followed that guy from Chicago. My son lives in Chicago. I bought a zero water pitcher filter. I don't know if anybody knows what those are. Zero water pitcher filter. They give you...
we have a call coming in.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. They give you a meter, and I've gone around. I bought this pitcher about 2 years ago, and I've gone around. I live in northern Macomb County, to people's houses, and the meter registers 80 to like 120. I used to have a Brita filter, and my tap water is like 120 on that meter. When I run it through the zero water pitcher, it goes down to zero because it takes out all the metals out of the water. You can buy them at Walmart. Okay. Right. Check this out. Hold on. For $30, they give you the pitcher, the meter, and one filter. The filters are like $15.
Okay, you should tell that the state, the people of Flint are poor. It's an economically depressed community.
I'm giving a suggestion to everybody. I don't care where you live.
Well, we care about Flint.
Yeah, Flint is economically depressed.
If anybody's listening from Flint, get yourself, because for $15,
they shouldn't have to spend 1 penny.
It's not to hold on for. Well, hold on for a minute. You're going to pick a bottle of water every week, right?
All right. JJ, I got to move on. This is not productive for us, and I understand your concern. But let's go to D. D has a question or comment.
D? Well, what's up with it?
All right, let's go to Chris. Chris, go ahead.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
We're doing good.
Okay.
To piggyback off what one of Justice's questions and what Sam just said to JJ, like, what is the solution to the problem? Like, what's going on to basically change the piping? Like, I recently, as I was listening, I went on YouTube to watch. I saw Obama drink the water, Flint water.
I was there.
Something about the piping. What's going on, like, with the piping? I just have a question. That's it.
Well, the piping.
All right, thank you, Chris.
The piping is being replaced. It's a tedious, long-term project. And I was there when President Obama drank that water. Let me say this. When Governor Snyder was introduced to Flint Northwestern, he was soundly booed. When President Obama put the water up to his lips, the whole place went silent. That was as close as President Obama has ever come to being booed, but out of total respect. Folks just looked at him because they didn't trust that water. They didn't care if President Obama drank a gallon of it. And it was actually an insult for Obama to pull that stunt in Flint.
It was a political stunt. Let's go to Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, question or comment?
Hey, Baker Lane, how you doing, buddy? Hello, Sam. I just have a comment. I'm the chief director of Hydrate Detroit. We're still the Detroit Water Brigade. We pass our water.
This is Miko.
That's my man.
Yes, hi.
Miko.
You came in as Mr. Oh, well, of course you are Mr. Williams, of course. But go ahead,
always Mr. Williams.
Mr. Williams. I did a Share Water initiative back in January of 2015 with a couple of community partners here from Detroit and Highland Park to assist our people up in Flint. Shout out to Naira Sharif and Kevin Perez. He's the owner of the FlintWaterScandal.com. Flint Water Scandal on Facebook is the only place that keeps up to date with from day one all the way. So if anybody needs a refresher course of what exactly happening, go to that page. But my comment, Bankole, is this is gone. This is the ultimate disregard of health, public safety, and life for residents in Flint and also Detroit that's having their water shut off. I think it's time for us to take back the street. And what I mean by that is I'm planning a march for water affordability in the next 2 weeks. And I also plan to use my neighbors up in Flint as well so that we can make a stand. I will be up there on Wednesday at the state capitol with my neighbors in Flint to protest the water delivery. And for also, I would also like to work with people that would like to donate water for the people in Flint so that we can share water, because to this day, people still have no clean water. It's disrespectful. It's also, Governor Snyder needs to be arrested. The UN already been here in 2014. This all should have been handled, and because of people get mad over Nestle, they should be. But you should be outraged. Everyone in the state and around should be outraged of corporate colonization taking over our public commons. This was the ultimate deal. That 80,000 people said, no, let's not have our water. If other communities have protested in Canada, in California, and around the world against Nestle, what makes them think they can open up shop here in Michigan?
Because Michigan is open to it.
Yeah. But also, we have not... Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mika, when you're ready for your water affordability march, let me know on Facebook. We'll come in studio and we'll do a segment with you, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Thanks for what you're doing, too.
You know, Michigan is open for business all the time.
All the time.
And I mean that sarcastically. By
I know. You're having a acerbic wit. Very acerbic wit. It really does. And that means biting humor. Okay?
We know, sir.
I'm not talking to you.
Sam is defending his JD from the University of Michigan. Makes sense.
But the GED I got was everything.
That's where you start.
All right. We'll go to a quick break. We'll come back. More Robin, Rick D, Steve, Vincent, Hammond, Davis, Brian, and Dieta. Stay with us. It's Red Line here on 9:10 a.m. on a Monday afternoon. I'm Bankole Thompson. Our guest, Sam Riddle, Political Director for the Michigan Chapter National Action Network, and Regina Strong from the Sierra Club Environmental Justice Group. We'll be back with more on the Flint water crisis. We've made a commitment on this show to keep the Flint issue on the front lines of our conversation here, and that's what we're doing. We'll also delve into the governor's race, the Democratic nomination coming up on Sunday. There is a silent civil war in the party, though. The race for Attorney General may get more bloody than you'd think. Stay with us right after this break.
Home, life, and auto, claims that are unfortunately routinely denied by insurance companies.